Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank God for another good day the Lord has made. Um, before we begin, let's commit the lesson into the hands of God, and we pray God to give us His wisdom to be able to understand what we are going to learn here today. So today I'm going to speak to this slide. I know we've done much as far as leadership in the project environment is concerned. But let me say this one will be a kind of a revision, or an add-on to what you've done before, or to what I've taught you before, if you will. Yeah, here we're going to talk about the roles, the quality, management style, and effective project team leadership. Right. The type of roles being performed by the project manager, the qualities shape the project manager, right? The management style, right? And the effective project team leadership expected of a project manager. So at this point, let's talk about leadership or the concept of leadership in a project manager in a way of unpacking it. So we say leadership is the ability to influence people to do what ordinarily they would not be able to do on their own, and to guide and inspire people, to guide team members in terms of what to do, how to do things, you know, and also to inspire people so that the project goals are achieved, right? Inspire people no matter how their morale is or was, be able to motivate them to be able to achieve the project goals through a collaborative effort based on commitments and teamwork. Right. So, in my own case, I would like to encapsulate the leadership of a project manager in a project environment in three important concepts, right? Which is direction, showing them or helping the team members to see the goals of the project or to understand the goals of the project and where the project is going. Then you'll be able to influence, motivate, in short, or simply put, to motivate the team members to contribute and take ownership of the task. Right. Then the project manager, as a leader in a project, should be able to turn teams, right, or turn groups, sorry to say, into teams anchored or based on trust. All these things combined together do help in ensuring the success of the project or the completion of a project aimed at achieving the objectives of the project. So take note of these three important concepts: project environment, shared purpose, and performance, right? All these things needs to be taken care of. Then roles and quality expected of a leader. The project manager as a leader, as we said, there needs to have both qualities of personal qualities and the practical qualities. Personal quality of himself, right? And the practical qualities being reflected in the practical roles that he needs to perform. Then we said qualities shape how the project or how the leader behaves. When we say project manager, leader, can be used in this context interchangeably, right? So it shapes quality shape how the leader behaves based on his quality, your behavior, right? Its quality, your quality as a project manager shapes your behavior, right? Shapes how you behave. Yeah. So if you are somebody that is disciplined, you behave as such in a disciplined manner. If you are a leader that is knowledgeable, that is competent, right, in terms of know-how, technical know-how, as you may put it, or if you will, it manifests in your behavior. So we said as well, roles describe what the leader does for the team. Right. So in trying to put that one in context, or those two contests, or two concepts in context, we say qualities, right? In terms of the qualities that's required of a good project manager in terms of leadership prowess. One is should be visionary, be able to see, know what is going to happen. Yeah? Be courageous, somebody that is courageous. It has to be courageous, integrity, somebody that is truthful, consistency, confidence of what he or she is doing, and willingness to learn from feedback. To have that willingness to learn from others without being pompous or intimidating, assuming to be Mr. Know All or Mrs. Know All. Then, in terms of the role, the project manager should be able to create direction for the team member. This is the way to go, right? You should be able to motivate, as we said, build corporations, turn group into teams based anchored on trust, as we said before. Then you should be able to support the development of the team members as well. Development that can as well be aligned with the project objectives as well as the personal goal of the team members. And of course, encourage a creative solution. So these are the roles of the leader, per se project manager in this context, and the qualities that are expected of, the qualities expected of a project manager in short. Then in trying to unpack it more simply, we have qualities of a project leader. One, see the goal, as we said, have a clear destination and a plan to reach it. The project manager should see the goal, be the first to see the goal, and formulate plan to reach the destination, that goal, the end point, right? Then you should be able to make decisions based on the formulated plan to reach the destination of the project goal. Choose a course of action, even when decisions are unpopular. Sometimes it can be unpopular in the sense that not every one of the team members love whatever decisions that are being promulgated or enacted in the project environment. No matter how unpopular it is, as a leader, you need to make sure that you stick to it and make sure that it's enforced. irrespective of how unpopular it may be. Then the project leader, as a quality, must be able to take risk. Right. What we mean by risk here, it should be calculated risk, not unnecessary risk. I want to put that one in context, right? Then act with courage and learn from mistakes. In taking risk, we said this before, encourage and inspire others, help team members believe in the value of their ideas, right? It helps to boost their morale. Then we said it turn group into teams in producing a productive teams from different individuals, right? In the project environment, ordinarily you have group of persons, group of individuals coming from different background. So as a project manager, you should have that ability or the capability of turning such individualized groups into teams based on or anchored on trust to be able to work collaboratively in a project, work towards the shared goals of the project. Then, in terms of the qualities again, we continue. Know themselves. A project manager should be able to recognize his strengths, his weaknesses, and areas of development. As a project manager or as a leader, in terms of quality, should be able to, shouldn't be Mr. No or be pompous. There are certain areas that a project manager feel weak or not feel incomplete or will be incomplete. So such gaps should not be taken as something that cannot be worked on. So the project manager should recognize his shortfall or her shortfall and look for a way of developing or bridging such shortfall. Then you have display integrity. Project manager needs to be honest and be trustworthy before expecting others or trust from others. If yourself you are not trustworthy, how would you expect other people to trust you? You must first of all exhibit that trustworthiness or show that trustworthiness for people to respect you. So by virtue of that, we say project manager or a good leader in displaying his or her qualities uh, needs to display integrity for other people to reciprocate. They must pursue a lifelong learning and be able to learn or should be in position to embrace lifelong learning. Remain open to new knowledge and professional growth, right? Mustn't be somebody that claim to be Mr. or Mrs. Know All and become a pool, become stagnant in knowledge. You learn every time to advance, to enrich your knowledge, right? And enhance your learning experience. Then help others to succeed and support team members to develop and achieve. Not only to achieve the objectives of the project, this goes as far as to the personal goal, helping the project team members to achieve their own personal goals, which of course needs to be aligned with the project objectives. Otherwise, if the respective personal goals of the team members are not aligned with the project objectives, at the end of the day is going to compromise the objectives of the project. Or going to compromise, let me put it this way, their inputs as far as achieving the success of the project is concerned, which is going to constitute a kind of barriers, demotivating them in putting their best. Then, as a leader, one of the qualities of a project leader needs to be consistent. Quality here is consistency. Should be able to treat fairly others and avoid preferences based on personality. Should not be biased. Project manager should not be judgmental. Should be able to treat all people, every team members fairly, equally, without being biased. Then the role of a leader in the project, as we've explained, we said here we are trying to unpack it more deeply. It should be a visionary and innovator, turn vision into practical direction. Because if you are not able to turn your vision into a practical direction, it becomes like a dream, a pipe dream, right? So being visionary and innovator should be able to turn our vision into practical direction and encourage creative thinking. Then should be able to motivate himself and others, not only motivating himself, got the responsibility to motivate the team members to achieve, being optimistic and yeah, create synergies, partnership between the team members, facilitate development environment and be creative. So leadership and management style, the differences. We've got a sharp difference between the leadership and management. So these are the contrasting differences, right? We said leadership and management complement each other, of course, but they are not the same. Most of you think leadership and management they are the same. So today I'm putting it before you that the two concepts are not the same. Here are the contrasting differences. A good project requires both direction and control, of course. So leadership, as we have it here, influences and inspires people, right? Create vision and direction, based on trust and commitment, encourage change and innovation, and develop people and teams, right? On the side of the management administer and organizes, administer what needs to be done in ensuring that tasks and responsibilities are carried out, right? Maintains control and maintains and control work to make sure that performance is adheres to standard. Make sure that non-conformance is avoided by all means. Then focus on structures and systems that has been in place. Line of responsibility and authorities, procedures, the processes that are in place for things to be done. Make sure that things are done according to such systems and structures. Allocate resources, right? Allocate resources for the tasks and activities to be executed and schedules in terms of the timetable or whatever, then ensure tasks are completed correctly. So these are the contrasting difference between the leader and the management. Management ensure that they focus on the tasks and activities are being done right. Whereas in terms of leadership, making people team members, ensuring that they are being able to do what they could not or what they cannot ordinarily be able to do on their own. Right. Managers to make sure that you are able to do it, right? In the first place, if you are not able to do it, you got no competency or capability in doing the job. In the first place, you will not be hired, you know. Then ways of managing. This aspect is another important areas that I want you to embrace. Very, very important. Ways of managing, right? Got four ways of managing, right? Which we said are based on who makes decision and how closely subordinates are supervised. So how do we distinguish between these four ways? It depends on who makes the decision. For example, are the team members allowed to make decisions on their own? Are they subordinated to make decisions or delegated to make decisions, if you will? And how monitored are they? Are they closely monitored? Or do we have a situation we call laissez-faire to allow them to do what they want to do? So these are some of the things, the dynamics that you need to consider in classifying the ways of managing in the project environment into the four mentioned or identified ways. Right. Now, we got what we call directive democrat. Directive democrat. Right. What are we talking about in terms of directive democrat? You see, when you look at the two words, combines two powerful words, directives, not as directive, right? Directive, remove the S, there's no S. Directive democrat. Democrat, right? It's a situation whereby you allow people to participate in decisions that affect them, right? Allow them to participate, delegate that authority of decision making to subordinates in this context. Then directives has something to do with supervision. So, in other words, to unpack this thing simply or to unpack the concept of directive democrats in the most simple way, we're talking in terms of the subordinate being able to take part in decision making, right? Although they are able to take part in decision making, they are still being closely monitored by the manager. So, in other words, based on this managing style or ways of managing, if you like, subordinate take part in decision making, but manage as closely supervises them while making the decision or while executing their tasks, their daily tasks. So then that one is what we call a directive democrat. Then directive autocrat. Autocratic means not allowed to take decision. When a system is autocratic system wields power to itself without much delegation or without delegating powers to others. So by importing or in a way of importing that definition or that explanation to this context, we see that under this banner, which is the directive autocrat, managers decide alone with little inputs from the team members. The team members, they don't have much input in things that affects their matters. As far as the project or the running of the project or managing of the project is concerned. So, or in their daily operational uh, activities is concerned in the project environment. So manager decide alone with little input, closely watches the subordinate. I see you closely watching the subordinates. That is a replica of an autocratic government. They watch you, they see, they are watching what you are saying. And if you say anything that is repugnant to what they are doing or pointing fingers at them, then they catch you. Then you will be summarily dealt with. The permissive Democrat, permissive allow, right? Permissive. Subordinate take part. The manager does not closely watch their work. They are allowed. Permissive. Then permissive autocrat. Manager decide alone. Subordinate are not closely watched. So these are the differences, or these are the connotation, or rather the explanation, or the practicability of these ways of the different ways of management as we have identified here. Then management style. Let's talk about the management style, right? Remember management talking about organizing, leading, and control. So management style focus on organizing, controlling, and structuring work so that the project activities are completed properly. That's the process of management. Organize, control, and structuring the project activities in a way of ensuring that the project are completed on time. So what are the type of management style? We got three broad types of management style, which is very important for you to take note of. Very important. Administer, so organizes, whereby one plan, schedule, allocate work, and ensure that work is the employee know what they need to do, right? In this context. Then maintain and control. That is where you monitor progress, you check for quality control, control time, and keep the project aligned with the requirement. Requirement here means the standard. Then it focuses on structures and systems, right? Under this banner, project manager, right, uses procedures, right? Systems that have been in place, procedures, processes, right? And the reporting line to ensure completion in the right way, right? So, under the management style, based on focusing on structures and systems, the project manager, right, based his direct or base his management styles on the systems and procedures in place, making sure that the system in place, the structures in place are strictly adhered to, right, in ensuring that the project is completed in the right way. Here, the style is based on the progress, quality checks, right? Control, anything that has to do with control, and making sure that the project requirements is adhered to or is met. So the aspect of maintenance through control is squarely based on looking at the requirement, which is the standard, and then the performance, making sure that checks, controls, mechanisms are in place in ensuring that the progress is made as per what has been set, and making sure that the final outcome of the project is in conformity with this test set standard, let me put it. Then this one of Mr. Plan schedule concerned with the planning of the work and the schedule and how to allocate work to team members and ensure that they knows what to do. So in trying to put everything in a kind of horoscope or to encapsulate all what I've been saying in a simple form, we said management provide order and leadership provide direction, right? Then let me see. So let's talk about leadership in action, apply it to a small project. So we are here trying to unpack it in terms of applicability, in terms of how it can be applied in there or into a small project or in a small project, if you will. Then we say the management or the leader clarify the project goals and ensure that every member understands the expected result. We said this over and over again, right? The goals, I can say the goal setter in the project environment, the project manager, since the goal, although, okay, let me put it like that as the goal setter, is the one, the first to know about the goal of the project in the project environment. So he has to make sure that the others show them, makes them to see the goal, to understand what the goals is and how to work towards the achievement of such goal. Then assign roles fairly and match tasks to team members' strengths, which is very important. When a project manager is assigning tasks to team members, he should as well look at the capability, or rather, if you will, the strength of the team members. So if there is a kind of incompatibility between the assigned role and the strength of the team members, the job is not going to be done right. That could even demoralize such team members, which will eventually will not augur well the success of the project. So the project manager make decision promptly, of course, but listen before finalizing important decisions. You still need, as a project manager, to listen to your team members. Right? Listen to their suggestion. In other words, a project manager should also be an active listener to be able to listen properly before finalizing important choices. Communicate progress, right, to team members where there are challenges in meeting the deadlines. Of course, the deadlines must also need to be communicated to the team members so that they will know whenever they are not meeting deadline, they should be able to know. Because if they don't know what the deadline is, how will they know behind schedule? They need to know as well. Their model integrity, right? Showing good example, good behavior, right? Making sure that himself is honest, right? Display positive attitude, be consistent, and also display mark of respect. As we said, respect is reciprocal. So you wouldn't expect respect or expect respect, if you will, from the team members if yourself as a project leader, you don't show respect in the first place. Celebrate milestones, whatever achievement that have been made, it needs to be celebrated. And of course, one needs to build the team spirit and the motivation. So here is a take-home work for you. You as learners, you are to identify one leadership quality, right? You already have, and one that you still need to improve for a project, like as a reflection. Now, to summarize, What effective project leaders do? Summary in this context of what effective project leaders do. We say set direction, they see the goal and guide the teams towards it. They see the goal and guide other team members towards aim at, which eventually aim at achieving these objectives of the project. Then they build people, they develop, support, and motivate people, team members. Sometimes find themselves in a situation, or perhaps they find themselves in a situation demoralizing, not being motivated. Then he has to support, has to weigh in and support them. Create teamwork, they turn group into productive, based on trust, accord on sports, accord on trust, as I explained before. They manage responsibly. They organize and control the progress of the project. So I would like to leave you behind with this, that leadership plus management equals better project performance. So to end the lesson, here is the key question, or here is a key question for learners. How can you demonstrate leadership in your next project team if you are not the former project manager? I repeat, how can you demonstrate leadership in your next project team even if you are not the former project manager? How? I will repeat again. How can you demonstrate leadership in your next project team even if you are not the former project manager? Remember, a good leader helps people see the goal, right? Work together and then grow while achieving the project objectives. Grow while achieving the project objective. Grow here, we are talking about the personal growth of the team members. They are not just there solely to achieve the project objective on the expense of their personal goal. They need to grow as well, personally, as it relates to their personal development, along with achieving the project objectives. So a good leader helps to achieve that. Besides the goal, besides helping the people to see the goal and working together. So I'm gonna leave it here. Thank you.